So we are going to take a quick lecture into the basic computer hardware and software. You may already had it once or twice, but if you didn't, it's a good time to learn more about computers. So we are going to have the lecture and break it down till we reach our main thing for this course, which is microcomputer applications, and then from there we are going to start our programs. So the first thing, the computer will be divided into two things. The computer will be divided into two things. Will be divided into hardware and software. We have two things that the computer will be divided to. The computer, this piece of plastic and metal and a lot of electronic stuff going on it, will be divided into two things: the software and the hardware. The electronic part and the cards and everything called hardware. Anything you can touch is a hardware. Anything you cannot touch is software. So this is basically things. We have a process for a computer to do and its function. So the first thing, we have an input, which we will input the information. It will take the input information from the user, which is you. You are the user. You will input it to the computer, your request. Then this request will be processed. Then it will display your result as an output. Then if you want it, you can store it. So we have 4 steps in the process. We have input, process, output, and storage. So we are going to break it down. So we have the input devices. And input devices, the devices that input information into the computer, such as keyboard, mouse, scanner, and digital camera. Anything will input information to the computer. Okay, they call it input devices. Then we have the output devices, which give us the result of the process, like the display, which is the monitor, like the printer, like a projector. These type called output devices. Then we have something called the processor, or the central processing unit, which we call it CPU, and it stands for central processing unit. And in other words, the CPU is the brain of the computer. Without the CPU, the computer is a piece of plastic. Cannot do anything. Cannot do the mathematical order and the algorithm and all the sets of intelligence that has the computer. Cannot do it without the CPU. And they call it the micro CPU for a reason. Okay, the microprocessor. Because the first processor we had it the first computer, it was a size of a room or a floor, then went down to less and less and less until and they call it the mainframe, until we had something called the chipset or the microchip, which change everything in computer and reduce the size of it. So we had the microchip that do the processing inside the processor, and they call that the reason why they call it the microprocessor. We will come to the speed as well as the storage devices capacities in a few minutes. And the speed of the processor will be microhertz, and the speed at which a microprocessor execute an instruction is usually measured in megahertz, and it has inside it a computer, inside it a clock, which is Whenever we complete a cycle, it's 1 clock. So if it's say 1000 cycle in a second for the clock of the computer, and so on. We will not go inside more in hardware. Just we want to see how it look like. Central processing unit, as you can see in the picture, the microchip in terms of an ant, how it look like. This is the microchip. So computer chips, also called the microprocessor, may contain an entire processing unit. Computer chips contain millions of transistors. They are small pieces of semiconducting material, silicon, and this is the processor. Let me see. This is the processor. If you see my screen right this moment, this is the processor. This is an old one, but this is a processor. Okay, this is how you exactly how the processor will look like. It's all pin inside it. Now they are doing it pinless, so no need for the pins. Now after you complete your processing and it already display the result, so we already have the input through the keyboard or the mouse, then processor and display it, and you decided, okay, I need to save my work, I need to save my assignment. So you need to have something called storage devices. A storage devices is like a CD, and hard disk drive, a thumb drive. It's a storage device. Okay, cloud storage device technically. So the hard drive is a mechanical storage device typically located internally. Now they have it also externally, but typically internally. Fast recording and recovery of data, large capacities, magnetic primary storage devices for data and programs, and speed measured by RPMs. Now we have a storage devices. We have a storage capacities. We can go into it quickly, and we have the language that the computer do understand, called the binary language. The binary language is what the computer do understand, which it is only the 1 and 0. This is the only value that the computer do understand. Okay, so each one of these, each value, the 1 or the 0, called bits. So each one is a bit. 8 of these called byte. So we have 8 bits, 8 bits, we have it 1 will equal 1 byte. Okay, so we have the 8 bits equal 1 byte. Then the 1024 bytes will equal 1 kilobytes. So why the reason is 1024 and not 1000? Why the 24? There are a reason. The reason is it's a duplicate on the 8th. So if we go quickly and put 8 and duplicate it, so we have 16, 32, 64, 128. Let me remove this quickly. I'm using PowerPoint. We will learn how to do it. So 128, then 256, 512, 1024. That's the reason why we have it 1024, not 1000. The processor will be counted in thousands. Now, after we have 1000 kilobyte, we will have something called megabyte. After we have 1024 megabyte, it will equal 1 gigabyte. When we have 1024 gigabyte, it will equal to 1 terabyte. When we have 1024 terabyte, it will equal 1 petabyte. This is quickly, and I will post it for you. This is the storage devices and how we can count the storage. So when you go back and you want to purchase a computer and they will tell you, oh, this is 500 gigabytes, sometimes it will be not enough if you store a lot of images or videos or songs. Now, another storage devices, we have the CD, which is the compact disc. We have DVD, which is digital video disc. We have a floppy disk, which is old one, and we have Blu-ray. These are storage devices. Also, we have a USB, and we have a cloud, which is a new thing. Okay, and the CD is 700 megabyte. DVD is 4.7 to 25 gigabyte. The Blu-ray is around 100 gigabyte. Floppy disk is around 5 megabytes. So that don't have a lot of it. This is the floppy disk. It's old. It's 1.44, so it's nothing. And this is the thumb drive or the flash drive, whatever you want to call it. Now, we have something called a computer memory. Okay, the computer memory, which is also, they put it over here, counted in binary, on or off electronically, and this is how the memory works. This is how they counted in kilobyte and bytes and gigabytes. But as I told you, is 1024. They put it 1000 just to be easily to count. Now, we have two types of memory. We have the RAM and the ROM. The RAM stands for read-only memory. RAM, read-only memory. RAM is random accessory memory. ROM, read-only memory. Now, the ROM is one time written by the manufacturer. It has the information and the instruction what to boot, the first thing and the second thing, and the booting process and the information about the computer. The RAM is what the processor need, so it will do the function of the processing. So the application where he will work all his work, and it's temporary storage. The RAM, they call it violated memory, so you need to have a voltage in it, so you have electricity in the computer in order to have a save information. When you turn off your computer, this information, that's it, disappeared. Okay, the same chipset, they are using it for the USB. The USB is non-violated, and the RAM is violated. This is the RAM. This is the RAM that we are talking about. Okay, this is what we have it in terms of the hardware of the computer. We have another type of cards. We have the PCI cards that will be connected, like the video card, the sound card, and so on. But computer these days coming with it. In the other part, we have the software, and we are going right now into introduction to computer software. So the software will be divided into two things. We already covered the hardware. The software will be divided into two things. It will be divided to the operating systems and the applications. Okay, So this is the software. So we have type of software, system software or operating systems, and application software. System software is the operating system that will interact with the hardware, and it will be the middleman between the application and the hardware. Will take what the instruction that you put into the application, change it to be binary so the computer do understand it, so it can process it. This is the work of the operating system. Kind of the operating system that we are talking about, we are talking about Windows. Okay, we are talking about Mac if you are a Mac friendly. We are talking about Linux or Unix. These are the program that we are talking about. This is the operating systems. Then we have something called applications. It's the programs that you need to do your work. Application software include programs that do real work for the user, for you. To do a word processing, for example, separate sheet, databases, presentations, just like this. So we have they went back to the operating system. Operating system is a software which makes a computer actually work. Okay, this is what the operating system. The application that we are going to learn in this course, like word processing, and we are going to learn Microsoft Word. There are another programs, not just Microsoft Word. There are another programs, but Microsoft Word is made by Microsoft, and this is what we need to learn because everyone is using it. Microsoft do have a huge share in the share market, and like if you go to the business world and start working, you will find that everyone using Word and a separate sheet like Excel and so on. Then we have the separate sheet we just covered. If you are doing budgets or payroll grade, for example, I calculate it through this way, you will have it through Excel. Then we have the graphic presentation, which is PowerPoint, which is slides. Then we have the database management system, which is Access, Microsoft Access. We will learn these programs, these 4 programs, we will learn it. I will post another video just to keep up with you. We will interact also in chat, so start working. We are going to, in the next video, we are going to learn Windows 8. Okay, I will post a Windows 8. My Windows is Windows 10, but not that different. I will cover 10, 8, and 7. Just an idea. I will have some pictures in it to see it. Thank you very much. Have a good day.